Thank you all for joining today's session. I'm Arvind Ravi, product expert of Zoho Payroll. So in today's session, I'll be walking you through how to set up and manage Zoho People and Zoho Payroll integrations. So let's quickly dive into today's agenda. So in today's agenda, I'll be guiding you to how to integrate Zoho People and Zoho Payroll and how to sync fields and how to create custom field in Zoho People, how to configure pay period in Zoho People, how to handle employee exits, the major key factors that has to be noted while exiting an employee, and commonly faced errors, how the same can be resolved. Let's get into how to integrate Zoho People and Zoho Payroll. So in this part, I'll be explaining you how to enable the integration via Zoho People and how to set up sync preferences, how to add work locations. Let's move into UI. So once you logged into your Zoho People, you can go to settings, go to Zoho under marketplace, and under the Zoho Payroll, select show details. So here you will be able to add your Zoho Payroll organization. So once you click on it, you'll be able to enter your organization details. And if you have already created the organization, you'll be able to directly select over here. And you can also enable the integration via from Zoho Payroll. So once you logged into Zoho Payroll, you can go to settings. Under settings, you can go to Zoho apps, and here you will be able to enable the people payroll integrations. Once the integration is enabled, you have to set up the sync configuration. The main purpose of the sync configuration is that the employees whom you want to sync from Zoho People to Zoho Payroll will be based on their work location and employee type. So you can choose here. So what kind of employees, like from which branches has to be synced from Zoho People to Zoho Payroll, and also the employee types. So once the sync configuration is saved, you can also add work locations from Zoho People. So under Zoho People, you can go to settings. Under organization, you can go to the locations. So here you will be able to create the work location for your employees. You need to select the location name, country, and state provenance. So these are the major field which you have to enter accordingly so that it will be displayed under the sync configurations. So let's go to the syncing field part. So here we will be explaining you how to map the field from Zoho Payroll to Zoho People and key things to be noted while mapping the field. The purpose of syncing field is that the basic information and personal information and payment related information of the employees are synced without missing any data from Zoho People to Zoho Payroll. So in order to map fields, you need to go to settings under Zoho Payroll, Zoho apps. So once the integration page is open, you can edit employee details mapping. So here you have to make sure that all the fields are mapped accurately under the basic information, personal information, and under the payment information. Once the fields are mapped accordingly, the data which are filled in Zoho People will be synced to Zoho Payroll. So let's continue to create how to create custom fields in Zoho People. So to create custom fields in Zoho People, you can go to Zoho People. Under Zoho People, you can go to settings. Under settings, you can go to forms, and under the employee module. So here you will be able to create the custom field which you want to map, field and attach the information from people to payroll. So you can here add field accordingly as per your requirement, and you can drag it to the basic information or the other relevant information in which you want to add the field. So here I have already created the custom field for father name, which is a mandatory field in Zoho Payroll. Yeah. So let's see how the created field can be mapped under the Zoho People and Payroll integration page. So once you go to Zoho Payroll, under the integration page, you can go to the employee details mapping. So here you can map the custom fields which you have created. So specifically for the name, which was created under the personal information is reflected over here. And also the payment information. So the payment information can be synced from people to payroll. For that, the same custom field has to be created for each field under the payment information. So once these fields are created, you have to map it accordingly, and then the sync will be happen successfully. And you have to make sure that all the field which are under the payment information are marked. Say for an example, the payment mode, bank holder name, bank name, account number, and IFSC code, including account type. So in this, even if one field is missed, then the sync will not be happening successfully. So in this session, we will be able to watch how to sync payment information and the custom field which we have created from Zoho People. So let's move to setting up pay period in Zoho Payroll. So a pay period refers to a time intervals in which a which a employer can pay salaries to their employees. For example, if you pay them once in a 30 days, then the pay period will be monthly. So the same can be set up under the Zoho People. Once the pay period setting is done, your LOP details from Zoho People will be synced to Zoho Payroll. So let's see how quickly we can configure pay period under the Zoho People. So once you logged into Zoho People, you can go to settings. Under settings, you have to go to the marketplace Zoho. So in here, you have to select Zoho Payroll. So here you will be able to see the entity which you have already integrated with Zoho People. So here under the payroll cycle, you will be able to configure the pay period as per your requirement. So once you have selected the pay period configuration, you need to update the pay period name, the pay period cycle. If it is from first day to last day, you have to select it accordingly. And you have to make sure the payroll processing day is selected as per the pay date which you have configured in Zoho Payroll. So the payroll report generation day and the payroll processing day process two different parts. So in payroll processing day, the LOP report for the mentioned period will be generated on the payroll processing day, which means the report will be processed on the date which you have selected before 11:59 p.m. So the LOP modification be done before 11:59 p.m., which you have selected under the payroll processing day. And you have to make sure for the payroll report generation day, it should be 1 day ahead of the payroll processing day, so that in between, if there are any modification, then the same can be performed accordingly. So the payroll report generation day will be generated on the date which we have selected around 12 a.m. So once this option is selected, you have to make sure that the applicable location for this particular pay period configuration. So you need to select the locations accordingly, so that as per that the LOP generated from Zoho People will be synced to Zoho Payroll. So below under the pay period summary, you will be able to see uh, when the LOP report will be generated for the particular configuration which you have made, and also the payroll report under the leave will be generated on which date. Let's move to how to handle employee exits. So the employee exit, the major key information which has to be maintained when you are integrated with Zoho People and Zoho Payroll is that the employee status and the employee date of exit has to be updated under the Zoho People. Say for an example, under settings, you can go to the particular employee profile. So if you want to exit a particular employee, then you can edit the employee profile. You need to update the employee status as terminated or resigned, and also you have to make sure that the employee status, the employee date of exit is updated under the separation information. Once these two details are updated, then you can go to the integration page. You can press instance sync so that the sync will be happen accordingly. And you also have to make sure that the employee date of exit falls under the current parent. It should not be in the completed parent. Say if we have already completed the May month regular parent, we will not be able to update the date of exit of the particular employee as 12th May. So in this case, if you are updated as in a completed parent, for example, May month, then we will be throwing an error and the employee sync will not be happen successfully into Zoho Payroll. So let me sync one particular employee with updating the date of exit. Will reflect you accordingly. So here I have updated the date of exit of an employee as 12th June 2024, and also I have changed the employee status as terminated. So once I give submit over here, I can go to the integration page and I can give instance sync. So we need to wait until the sync gets completed. So the blur will be removed and it will become dark again. So once it has become dark, the sync has been completed. Now you can go to the dashboard of Zoho Payroll, and here you will be able to see under the to do task to initiate the exit process of the mentioned employee. Let's see commonly faced errors which are been happening while the integration is currently on from Zoho People to Zoho Payroll. So let's go to the Zoho Payroll. Under the integration page, so you can view the common errors which is will be happening while the integration is enabled. So these are the common errors which can be rectified with updating few details under Zoho People. For example, under the payment information of employees, so you have to make sure, as I mentioned earlier, that all the fields are updated accordingly. Say for an example, here the particular employee is having an error of enter valid IFSC number. So you have to make sure that the IFSC number for the particular employees under the payment information is entered correctly. So let's go to that particular employee profile. So kindly update the IFSC code over here. Once it is updated, go to the integration page. So we have to wait until the sync gets completed. So here you could see that employee name has been, you know, released from the error details. So again, we can see the other error scenarios. So here's the other error scenario. The date of joining cannot be changed as you have already generated payroll for this employee. So this error will be happening when a particular employee is already involved in a pay run, and then we try to change the date of joining. Say for this particular employee, we can go to the people integration page. Yeah. So here we can check the date of joining of this particular employee. So in Zoho People, it has mentioned as 12th August 2021. So we need to check the exact date of joining of this particular employee in Zoho Payroll under the employees module. So the date of joining updated over here is 1st of April 2021. Yeah. So we can update the same under the Zoho People also, so that the sync will happen accordingly. Yeah. So the mentioned employees error detail was removed here as we have updated the correct date of joining for the mentioned employee. So the other scenario here, the particular error which is mentioned as the last working day should fall within the current month. So as I mentioned earlier, when we are processing an exit process for a mentioned employee, we have to make sure that the last working day should fall under the current month. So here for this particular employee, we can check the date of exit and Zoho People. So under Zoho People, we can see that the date of exit is updated already in the completed pay run. So we have to make sure that the date of exit should be updated in the current pay run month. So we have already completed the pay run till June, so we can update it as June month, and we can save it, and we can give instant sync. So we have to wait until the sync gets completed. Yeah, the mentioned employee's error data was been removed accordingly. So we can check another scenario of the error where there is a valid bank account error. So this particular employee is having a valid bank account number error. So here we have to make sure that the account number provided to the mentioned employee is a valid digit number which is between 9 and 30. So in order to update this particular information, we have to go to the Zoho People and we have to select the mentioned employee's data. So under this particular employee information, we have to check the bank account number which was entered. So here we could see that the account number was not entered properly. So we can provide the valid proper account number and then submit it. So again, once the data is updated, we can give instant sync option so that the data is updated now. So that particular error is gone. And the other error is father name. As I mentioned earlier, the father name is a mandatory column in Zoho Payroll. So you have to make sure that the father name is updated in Zoho People so that the employee data is synced successfully. So again, for this particular employee, the father name is not updated. So we can also clear this particular error by going to the particular employee profile, the father name. Yeah, once the detail is updated, we can give instant sync under the integration page. So we have to wait until the sync gets over. So once the sync gets over, yeah, here's again the particular employee name was listed below the error detail was removed. So these are the commonly faced errors which can be resolved in Zoho Payroll. So yeah, come to the pro tips for admin. So when the integration is enabled, we have to make sure certain data has been checked regularly. So the first one would be the integration page. As I mentioned, whenever the data is synced from Zoho People to Zoho Payroll, we have to make sure there is no any error notification is reflected under the integration page. So the same can be checked in Zoho Payroll under settings, Zoho apps, uh, view details next to Zoho People. So here you will be able to see the error details if there are when the sync is happening. And the main part is that how to update the work email address of an employee from Zoho People to Zoho Payroll. So here for the existing employee, if you have already enabled the employee self-service portal, then the work email address cannot be updated directly from Zoho People to Zoho Payroll. Because for a mentioned employee, an active account would have been already created under the existing work email address which was provided earlier. So in order to update the work email address for an existing employee in Zoho Payroll, once you have already updated in Zoho People, for in order to update in Zoho Payroll, the work email address has to be added by the employee themselves under their account. So once the ESS portal is enabled for an employee, an individual account will be created. So they have to log into their individual account in accounts.zoho.in, and here they'll be having an option to update the new email address which was provided by the employer. Once the new email address is updated, they have to make it as primary. Once it is marked as primary, then as an admin in Zoho Payroll, they can go to that particular employee profile, and from there they will be able to add the newly updated work email address. So in the drop down, they will be getting the newly updated work email address. And third point is that, so once the pay configuration is configured under Zoho People, the same should not be edited or modified. Once if it is edited or modified, then the sync will not be happening successfully for each month. In a particular month, if the pay configuration was edited or modified in between the month, then the LOP's data will not be synced automatically from Zoho People to Zoho Payroll. In order to avoid this, as a super admin of Zoho People, they can go to the pay configuration page under the Zoho in Zoho People. So here under the pay configuration, under the pay cycle, they can edit the configured pay cycle settings. So here you'll be getting an option to lock the configured period. So once this setting is updated and it is locked, then if the modification will not be happen in between the month and the sync will be happening successfully. So now we have come to the end phase of the session. Yeah. So we have come to the end of the session. So today's session, we have able to see how to sync field from the integration page, and how to create custom fields in Zoho People, how to set up pay period, and how to handle employee exit in the integration part, and what are the commonly faced errors and best practices to avoid the same. Pro tips for admin. Hi Akila. So your questions related to how sync statutory information from people to payroll. So usually the statutory information cannot be synced from Zoho People to Zoho Payroll. So those information has to be updated under the Zoho Payroll. Yeah, we do have an option. Here, Kali, regarding your question related to salary revision letters to send the employee before the parent. Yeah, we do have an option to send the salary revision when it is approved in Zoho Payroll. The feature has to be enabled from the developer end. You can raise an app request. So we'll be able to enable the feature. So once the feature is enabled, you will be able to send the salary revision to the employees before you're performing the parent. Hi, Arini. So regarding your query related to different pay dates for different people, yes, we do have an option in Zoho Payroll where you will be able to pay the employees with different dates. Say there is a set of employee whom you want to pay at month end, and there is set of employees B whom you will be paying at first week of next month. So this can be performed under the Zoho Payroll. Once you have submit and approve the parent, you can record payment individually. So you can select a set of employees and record the payment at the month end, and another set of employees you can select it and you can record the payment in the upcoming first week month. So hi Apsana. So regarding your query related to the particular employee profile where you are getting an error that you cannot do any operation for an employee who is dismissed. So you have to make sure the data which was entered in Zoho Payroll is matching in Zoho People also. So this error will be arrived only when a particular employee is exited and after that their information was changed in Zoho People. You can check the employees basic information, their personal information, whether it is matching as per in the Zoho Payroll in Zoho People also. Uh, Hi. So yes, you'll be able to choose different dates in the same month. So you'll be able to select the pay date in a same month with different dates. Say for a set of employees, you can record payment on mid of the month, say from 15th June, and another set of employees you can record the payment at the end of the month, which will be June 31st. Hi Binal Shah. So regarding your question related to the error row null. So this error will be happening only when there are multiple other characters in the employee's addresses. So in a particular employee address, if you use was any special characters, then this error will be happened. You have to make sure that there is no any special characters are there in the particular employees, under any information. Hi Upsana. So regarding your question related to the direct deposit support for HDFC, ICICI, and Axis Bank. So as of now, we support HSBC and S Bank. So regarding the ICICI Bank, it has been temporarily the ICICI Bank had stopped the integration from their end for other third parties apps. So it is there from the bank end. So we are currently working on it to get the update from the ICICI Bank. Hello Shekhar. So regarding a query related to the earning components, which you want to change after performing the parent. Yes, once the particular earning component is associated with an employee and the parent is performed, then the same component cannot be edited. You can create a duplicate component for the same earning type and you can make the changes accordingly and you can associate with the employees. Hello Pooja. So regarding your query related to the LOP fetching date in the parent generation date. So as I mentioned in the earlier in the UI, so the pay report generation day should be 1 day ahead than the payroll processing day. So you have to make sure that the payroll report generation day is 1 day ahead. so that the report will be generated accordingly. Hi Deepti. So regarding your query related to the payslip date, so the payslip date will be generated based on the payment date which you have recorded in the particular month's pay run. So as per the payment date which you have recorded, accordingly it will be generated under the payslips. Hello Anita. So regarding a query related to employee's email address no longer available in Zoho accounts, so this error will be popped up when the particular employee account is closed. So what you can do is that under Zoho Payroll, you can go to the mentioned employee profile. So there you will be able to find a notification to revoke the portal access. Once you select the revoke option, you will be able to update the correct work email address which are updated in Zoho People. Once that is updated and saved, then the sync will be happen, the error will be closed. Hello Shekhar. So regarding a query related to the special allowance components, not able to edit on the employee salary details. Regarding this, you need to check whether the particular earning component is not our default fixed allowance component. If it is so, then that component cannot be edited. So whatever amount reflected in our default fixed allowance component, you can adjust that amount in any other component so that the amount will not be reflected in the default components. So if you have further question, kindly post it in the Q&A tab so that it will be easy for us to provide you the resolutions accordingly. So if we put it in the same chat, there might be chances we might miss some of your questions. Thank you. Hi Binal. So regarding your query related to multiple Zoho payroll account which has to be integrated with one people account, yes, it is possible. You will be able to add your multiple Zoho payroll account with one Zoho people, and you have to make sure under the sync preferences the same work location and employee type is not selected. There will be a different work location and different employee type should be selected when multiple Zoho payroll uh, is integrated with Zoho People. Hi Binal. So this will be our last question. So regarding a query related to having a two work locations for a different state, yes, you can enter the work location name as per your requirement, and you can choose it with the different state accordingly, and the same can be integrated to Zoho People.
Thank you everyone for attending this session. Thank you Arvind for your presentation. Thank you Arun, Arvind and Aditya for answering all the questions. So if you have any other doubts regarding this session or outside of it, you may drop an email to support@zohopayroll.com and we will assist you with it. We are looking forward to seeing you in all the sessions. For upcoming sessions, we will send out the registration forms through emails and within the product for you to register and attend. Thank you, everyone.